Fáilte Harnash, well is le gerscanán a chusin golóir scanán orí amach agus le spantar annachid gerscanán le linn na féile an scanán son motion sickness leis an rincord Jessica Kennedy in a mask. Sin éagsúlach lehan san a churn gomór leis an bhuiineh an maile agus níos muile sa chlár beag dúise bhronnagum an gerscanán is fearr at a spánach le linn na féile. Ach bhí sin, a pervert's guide to ideology an teidir le táir scanán a phléin leis an idéile ó líocht mar aimid de gursaí scanán é, agus bhí de frihléidegum aglah peblií a dhéanamh leis an stúrthairt Sophie Fiennes agus leis an léirthairt Katie Holly. You're all very welcome. We're talking about Pervert's Guide to Ideology, and I'm just going to ask you, first of all, how did you both join forces?
Well, actually, I met Katie at the Cannes Film Festival. My previous film was in the official selection there, and I was with someone who was a big festival aficionado, and she introduced me to Katie and said, oh, you should work with Katie. She is one of the most exciting new young producers. So because I love to come to Ireland, I love to work in Ireland if I can. I grew up here. It was, for me, it was a no-brainer, as they say. I was like, OK, I'm on.
And a lot of the film was shot in Ireland as well.
Yes, that's right. We actually shot all the, for those of you who've seen the film, all the interiors, all the sets, we built those in Ardmore Studios in Bray. So it was amazing, because we literally had sets from like 10 or how many different films, all in one studio. It was a cool thing to walk around.
Oh, there were times when we would look at each other. Oh, Mother, I could hardly breathe.
Did you let him see how you felt?
If I did, I didn't know it. That's what's been torturing me. I was there on God's errand.
No wonder that in old communist Yugoslavia, where I saw this film for the first time, exactly this scene, or more precisely, the song which follows this strange hedonist, if you want, advice from the Mother Superior. Go back, seduce the guy, follow this path, do not betray your desire. Namely, the song which begins with Climb Every Mountain.
Climb every mountain.
I suppose one of the great things about going to see a film with somebody else is that you'll probably have an argument after the film. Two people can watch the same film and see completely different films. I saw in the film that Fidel Castro thought that Jaws was a Marxist film. Tell me about that.
Well, in Jaws, there's this disturbing element of, here you have an idyllic beach, American beach, with life just fantastic, sun is shining, but there's this thing in the water which is disturbing and eating the people. So Castro saw that as a metaphor for capitalism that was there in this apparently beautiful picture actually going to gobble the people up. So there's ways in which film, for me as a filmmaker, that's what's riveting about film or riveting about visual language.
Choosing a philosopher to present a film referring to a lot of big philosophers, Plato, Walter Benjamin, they're all in there. Is this film unapologetically highbrow? I mean, are you just saying, hands up, this is what it is?
It just is what it is. It's unapologetically itself. I never underestimate the audience. It's very exciting to be at the edge of your comprehension, at the edge of your cognition. That means that something new is going to happen. If you're just having the same emotional response or the same, reaffirming the same idea about something, you know, it's different to this moment, like when you're doing sort of maths equations. I remember at school, the kind of edge of understanding it, not understanding. Well, my God, suddenly it's very beautiful. You understand something. And that point of comprehension, when you're at the edge of it, is a place which I think is very exciting.
Towards the end of the film, Zizek says that in order to understand today's world, we need film, we need cinema. What do you think that film has that other art forms lack, or why is film so essential, do you think?
Well, it's a tricky one because, on the one hand, you know, I feel in my lifetime I've seen film completely collapse as a form. The mainstream of the blockbuster big films, all the kind of superhero films, and it's the industry's become so dominated by this desire to make really big films that you really sell, and if it's not on the side of a bus, it doesn't exist, you know. This is sort of pushed out the kind of filmmaking that used to happen. So, you know, a lot of these films are films that were made 30, 40 years ago, which can be very eloquent about things today.
We're celebrating international film here in Dingle and Irish film as well. Katie, I know you've been recently appointed to the Irish Film Board.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Irish companies are now really taking to the global stage and really not afraid to put their work out there. Do you think this is a good time for Irish film at the moment?
It's a challenging time in the industry in general. You know, there's a real polarization between these very big budget studio pictures as Sophie's talking about and then more independent film. And with cheaper means of production, many more films are getting made, but it's harder to get into cinemas. So there's huge challenges there, but I think you have to be optimistic and you have to be ambitious and believe in your stories and yeah, hope that they'll get out there and find an audience.
Rauníonn an lochtfechna an gerscanán is fearr, agus leabhar le buaiteoir na bliana sa Deirdre Mullins. Deirdre Mullins, co-hardus, your short Going the Distance won the Audience Award here in Dingle. Tell us about your film.
The film, it's a short documentary about my dad who was once an ultra-distance runner and now has cancer. So I suppose it's about losing your life passion. He gave his life really to sport. He organised and competed in the first Ironman triathlon ever in Ireland, and he did 24-hour running races and ran from Cork to Dublin, and that was his big passion in life. And at the age of 70, he was told his cancer had spread and that he couldn't run anymore. So it's about what you do when you lose something you love, and also sport really helped him kind of get through his chemotherapy treatment. With ultra distance running, he said that, you know, it's all about delayed gratification, and that kind of idea kind of really helped him get through chemo, you know. So
I suppose one of the great things about the festivals is that it gives a platform for emerging filmmakers as well. And not only was your film shown here, it picked up an award here. That must give you great confidence now moving forward.
Absolutely, yeah, because my first time ever directing anything, I did it as a part of a course in film base, and so there was 6 of us, and we were all novices at what we did. None of us had directed or worked as camera people or sound. So to even get into Dingle, I was over the moon that I got into a festival, because, you know, doing a student course, you don't really expect it to get anywhere, and then to win the award is just amazing. Absolutely thrilled, yeah.
Well, in Kier Ganzi, Kieri, where is from Nadas, the Minuri. Ladiaga Shachto Hen Stocha. Here do the Hudas Ganzi, Kieri, and the Minuri. Agus Bavran, or Kardashin, Bavran. On Ordumsa, and Kier Literagal, or Board and Kunta, Grave, Art Fachtagum, Panel, Minuri, Kieri. Bavran Literature. Bavran Literation. Tá leis san gom fós tá.
Friend, bhfuil féile scanán an daingan tábhachtach do bhaintear na háit agus do scanán áiríonn cheantar?
Well, bíonn scanán áitiúla ann go chéim bhliain, agus ceann do scanán mhuara an na féile se ná an ómósta fádaí ó sé, cailleach le déanaí.
Bhí at na bhagats ar fádaí, Brenda?
Well, bí mo chóirsa bealdar is heh bháine pádaí agus bhíothna go méir ó sa lucha. Agus gynnas ceannas na hagalah fada dernacha a denach le pádaí sé donsra far a film trá. Nuair a sa lucha, danim ni gabháthir in níag peladóra de chud chéirí pádaí síhí. Ní bhain sin ach dúir sé pádaí síhí bheithna ahar baistíige rud a bhí. Agus deir sé héin ó hosna sé siúl don heasta cuaig acha bheith in the peladóra de chud chéirí.
Cad éon cinál perthráide a aimimid sa scanán seo den bhar hain measta?
Is dócha gur don beladóra agus don bhar paibli a dheimid portráid sa scanán sa. Agus cíimid an fearr a bhí chomhlán do rá don bell. Deirich sé gur ben rud dernach a bhíoch na cheann agus a chola titamar ná pel chéirí. Agus in chéadrad a bhíoch na cheann maidir na pel chéirí. Fiúbháin agus in éire a leitheanta a héal ar fad bhí sé tumnathe do fel.
An rahan tú é?
Well, is agad ní bhreatham go fóil. Ní bhreatham go fóil. Mar go chéad nuair a hamáinim ar na héig agus níl sé cháinóid am héig héin. Caim a bheith rúgam hen a bhfuil sean. Agus nuair a nuair hiice mé mo chrín a bhfuil sean ó honna me. Mo hóig ceantar fadwathe é. Tá mórtas aran go raibh páidí a gin. Tá airachas ar an na bhfuil sé fós a gin, ach tá mórtas aran go raibh sé gin. Agus beg mórtas a gcónaí aran go raibh sé gin.
Have you had any special moments at the festival this year?
I found the opening really beautiful is one way to describe it. I thought Brian Maguire in the Q&A following Blood Rising, I mean, the man is so sincere. Also, like Jimmy Murakami, I think actually that was the moment for me when Jimmy received his award inside in St. James's. There was something really beautiful and soft about it. It was all really soft, the atmosphere.
What drives you to keep going with this?
The drive really is about the film. I mean, I just adore film like I ever have been since I was a child, you know. Listening to Sophie Fiennes, she talked about it at the festival, that you go into a cinema and you just let yourself go in front of the screen, and extraordinary things take place and a lot of people are involved to make that happen. And I love that magic. You know, people use magic in relation to film. I do think it's magical.
Well, tá an tréis deir seachtainna an scothbheaghain an saigh féile scanán an daingean, tá súlgum gur bhainmhar taine bheas buic fan tína féile, ach fágam den isisiúh le píosa an scanán ómós a dénach de lech mórsa na riachta, Páidí Ó Sé, Iva.
Ní hastóch bhfuil mreachtain na náiteile ná próiste fiún rá agus tá cuimad an dam siúlta gom. Agus feicithe gom agus ní dóilm go dastóch bhfuil a bhíon na náiteile dar íirih. Tá go chéanaí a bhecha testáil go mán, tá an aragán, tá an gaeilin ann, tá muinte na háite chud mo cáda go léir, ha mo cáda go léir mór hímplarm agus ní dóilm go dastóch bhfuil mreachtain na náiteile dar íirih.
Began tarna chlór sa trano Breaking Bad lin tréis na haimsire.
TG Cahid le fáil éanaid, éanúid. Íslódáil an app nu gon iPad. Sé go TG Cahid Stad TV ó rivire. Tablet dú fón cliste erbe. Brú agus rána ó réan farsing siamsiachta